What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coach Talk. Today, we're going to continue our conversation a little bit about being home, staying home, and how you can improve your health. However, we know that there's a bunch of parents out there that are now having to work with their kids being home, and you're having to incorporate them a little more than maybe you were used to. So you're trying to figure out what you can do maybe with them, or maybe what you can do to maybe keep them occupied in some way, shape, or form. But what we're going to kind of concentrate on is how you can incorporate them into your day and also kind of build your health together as a family so that you can continue to strive and continue to become more resilient as you're trying to build your health and as you're trying to improve yourself during this time. So with that being said, like I said, I know that a bunch of parents this is something new to them, having their kids around basically 24/7 and having to figure out how they can incorporate their kids into some of their lifestyle things that they may have had going on their own without their kids around. So my question to get started is, Trevis, what are some of the things that you think that a parent could begin to do, we'll say, on a nutritional level, on a diet level, to incorporate their kids? Whether that be, how do you get them to start to maybe go more toward a healthy diet, or how do you get them to become part of what you're trying to do, whether that be through meal prep or whether that be through, who knows, some other form of just getting them to build healthy habits?
Well, I think the best thing and I think everybody needs to involve their kids in cooking, get them into the kitchen, give them, a safe task that they can do based on their age. They can cook eggs. They could help you cut up vegetables or peel potatoes or something like that. So I think if you involve them into the making of the food, I think that they're probably more apt to participate in eating healthier food rather than, they just sit in on the couch watching TV while you're cooking dinner. Bring them into the kitchen and teach them some life skills that they're going to need for when they get older, I think is a good starting place.
Well, and that's a very good point, because I think a lot of people see whenever you have something thrown off and all of a sudden you have, you're used to the kids being gone and now all of a sudden you have them around all the time, you see that as kind of a distraction instead of an opportunity to build a stronger relationship with your kid, or just to build a healthier lifestyle in general. And like you said, incorporating them somehow, figuring out a way to get them in the kitchen and become, build their life skills, whether that be through regular food. Chocolate chip cookies isn't the most healthiest thing, but chocolate chip cookies is kind of the things that sticks out of my head. Like, if you make chocolate chip cookies with your kids, that's a bonding moment. That's an opportunity for you to become stronger with them. Now, like I said, of course, you could be a little healthier, building healthier, stronger habits, and figure out other recipes that you could build with them.
Sure. I think a lot of families nowadays, because of time and both parents are working, they eat a lot of processed fast food. So I read an article once where kids don't recognize what, if you held a tomato up in a classroom full of kids, would they know what that looks like? Yeah, that's, tomatoes make pizza sauce, but they see it in a sauce rather than where that really comes from. So I think that's another opportunity that you can educate your kids on what food is and teach them so that they have that skill to go shop in the grocery store when they get older, and teach them something while you're cooking your meals.
Awesome. Now, obviously on the other front, a lot of parents use that downtime, the kids being away time, as time for themselves. And time for themselves could mean getting a workout in. Now, whenever the kids are around, all of a sudden, you feel like that time is all of a sudden gone because you have to entertain them, or you feel like you have to entertain them or watch them or something along those lines. But you might be surprised at some of the things that you can bring them into your life to build their fitness as well, and do it together in a fun, active kind of way. Cher Bear, I wonder if there are any things off the top of your head. I know before we started recording, Sharon said that she had a specific thing that she put together, which we're actually going to put, she's going to put a blog post together and put it out there for you, and I'll let her explain it here in a second. But before you get to that specific thing, the little obstacle course that you want to talk about, what are just some, like, I don't know, fun, basic ideas that people could do, that parents could do to kind of bring their kids into a fitness type of family atmosphere?
So I always encourage people to use their kids as weights for their workouts. If you've watched any of our virtual training on Pack TV, I say that all the time. Grab your kid, grab your dog, whatever you might have. So you can do a workout with a child depending on how big your child is. Obviously, if you have a 12-year-old, you're probably not going to squat him or her. But it's at that point, they can do the workout with you. There are plenty of kids yoga videos online.
Yep.
One I know of is called Cosmic Kids that people do with their kids. That's a really good one too. That one I know specifically, there's a lot of learning involved as well as the yoga. And you can do like sleepy time, bedtime yoga, or, you know, I don't know what it's called, but waking up yoga, things like that. And I'm not endorsing them specifically, that's just one that I know of. I'm sure there's others out there as well. But doing workouts with your kids, you can teach your kid to squat as young as 2 years old. They do it naturally.
Yeah, they'll probably teach you how to squat at 2 years old.
Exactly.
Because they do it so well.
Right. So just things like that, it's always an option. And then besides an actual workout, I always encourage playing with your kid. Don't just give them a tablet all the time. Now, I get that that's something that sometimes you just need to do. Give your kids something they can do by themselves. But sometimes just play with your kid and let that be your and your kid's workout. Take them outside, have a race, roll around in the yard, whatever you want to do, whatever your kid wants to do, really, because you know they're in charge. So just find something active that you can do together. Take a walk, climb something, whatever. So crawling around is a good workout.
I definitely think that that's a good point. So we tend to think of exercise, well, let me rephrase that. We tend to think of getting fit as only doing exercise.
I think
you made an important distinction there, in that you can still get in shape. You can still get in your workout, if you will, by incorporating this thing called NEAT movement. So NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. All that doesn't need to mean a whole lot to you, other than it's everything that you do that's not exercise. And it all counts as you moving and you getting in shape. So Sharon just gave you a bunch of good examples of that. Us as adults think that we can't be kids and can't go play and can't go climb trees and can't go up and down even playgrounds and stuff like that. You can do that. You're allowed to still do that. You're still a human. You're free. You can do those things. So if your kid's out back running around doing stuff, like, go out and do that with them. It's still gonna get your heart rate up. It's still going to get you in shape to some degree. It's still going to increase your fitness to some degree. That is NEAT movement. That is movement that is going to be burning calories. That is not a workout per se, but it still counts. It's still stuff that is improving your health, not only from a physical aspect, but from a happiness aspect, because you're out there playing and having fun. So psychologically, it's helping you a lot, and physically, it's helping you a lot. So do not overlook those opportunities to get up and run around and move around with your kids. Don't think that a workout has to be you sitting there in front of weights and things like that and doing something for 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Yes, that's great. Yes, that's good. It gives you structure, but you can build in NEAT into your day and still get yourself fit with your kid, with them playing.
That's a good point, because the biggest thing you'll hear, especially with parents, is I don't have time to work out, which time is extremely crunched when especially if you are new to being a parent, you have young kids. but there's always time to work out if you make the time to work out. You can work out with your kid, like I said, or your time spent enriching your child can be working out of some sort, exercising of some sort. So we think we have to spend this much time with our kids doing this thing, but who's to say we can't use that time to do another enriching thing with our kid? So it's definitely good to teach them things, but they can also get their movement in at the same time as you.
And I think that, in this day and age, there's so many things that like bikes and skateboards and driving those, the little cars where you see the parents sitting in the driveway while the kid's doing all that. But what about the old school games like hopscotch? That takes a piece of chalk that you just make it hopscotch on your driveway, and the whole family can get involved. They're up moving. Foursquare is another one that doesn't take a lot of equipment or cost money, or
jump rope,
right?
Like we
Jump
did the
rope.
other week.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So I think that we've kind of gotten away from those very simple activities from back before all the videos and all the fancy stuff. That, well, I'm gonna release my age here, but back when I was a kid, that's what we were outside, and that's what we did. We didn't have all that other
Technology.
So, it's been a long time since I played hopscotch, but I'd enjoy doing that because I loved it as a kid. So I think just those types of things too.
Very nice. Cool. So to close this up, Cherbear, you want to give us a little sneak preview of your obstacle course? Like I said, we're going to put a blog post together. We're going to put a link in the post to what Sharon's getting ready to just give you a sneak peek of. It sounds like she hasn't released it totally to us, so this is going to be new to us as well, but she's going to give you a little sneak peek of something you can put together and actually have a good, fun time playing with your kids.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something to do with your kids that's active and that they will actually have a lot of fun with, and they can actually help you with the setup as well, you can do just a simple obstacle course. So all it would take is some objects, and I think it would probably be easier to do outside if you had that option, but if not, it can be done inside as well. So I'm not going to go over the entire thing, but some examples are from one station to another, you might do a bear crawl, and from another station to another, you might carry a heavy object. And like I said, this is totally customizable, so you can make signs for your stations. That would be a fun craft to do with your child. And then you could let your child pick out whatever objects they wanted to use as their heavy item to carry, or as their station markers, and you can put the markers as far apart or as close together as you want. This can be as many stations as you want, or you can make it take as long as you want or as short as you want. So just some different ideas are like bear crawls, running backwards, army crawling, things like that you can do between station to station.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I thought so.
Very cool. So, like we said, we know that parents are having it's a challenge. All of a sudden, your schedule's thrown off. All of a sudden, you have another person or two or three or however many kids you have that are in your space for all day. And as much as you love your children, I'm sure you do, it's different. And that's just the way that it is. So you have to adapt. You have to figure it out. And if you want to grow, not only physically, but as a person and as a family, figure out ways that you can start to do things together and become healthier together. So thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We will see you at the next Coach Talk.